back to my channel tonight. I am playing some Mordheim City of the Damned, as I have been advertising all afternoon. Hopefully the video is okay. I've had to fiddle around with it a little bit to get things to fit. And hopefully the audio is okay, because I've got this switch on my headset that flips between muted and unmuted, and I can never remember which one is muted and which one is unmuted. So hopefully you guys can hear me if there's anybody out there. Oh, hey, there is. Hi, Angel Tarragon. One sec. Also, I'm going to turn up the volume on the music. The music's okay. Usually I find it distracting if I'm watching like a video over on my other monitor, but since I'm not doing that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it up. Oh, shoot, that screwed up that. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So yeah, I had a straw poll up to see what I was going to go with for a warband. I'm going to check the results. Currently it is Cult of the Possessed is leading 3 votes to 2, so there you go. I'm going to do Cult of the Possessed. I have played... It's a little loud. I have played Cult of the Possessed before, a little bit, so I kind of have an idea of how their early game goes. Mordheim has become a lawless, blighted place, far from the authority of temples and noble lords. The malignant clutch of chaos hangs heavy over the ruins, changing those too desperate or too stubborn to leave, drawing to it creatures already twisted by mutation and corruption. Groups of these degenerates and mutants gather together into the cults of the possessed, seeking to gain the favor of the Shadow Lord by returning Weirdstone to the pit and slaughtering all those they find trespassing upon their master's domain, the City of the Damned. The inhuman and subhuman and the non-human all gathered into the dark embrace of madness. They are basically agents of the Chaos Lords, although Chaos has just barely started to touch this world at this point, which is like, I forget now actually. I think it's like 100 years or 200 years or something before the before the Age of Myth, which was the time period.
I can feel your ambition and your desire. I can see it rising from your tainted flesh, boiling up from your blackened soul. You are not content to merely be. You must know why. That is good. That is as it should be. Many are consumed by the power of chaos. It is only the select few who aspire to understand. You may call me Murder. I came to this place on behalf of the Purple Hand to discover the change that had been visited upon Mordheim. Do not listen to the Sigmarite fools. There was no judgment of their puny god that descended upon this city. It was the blessing of the dark gods we serve. They see only destruction, their minds yearning for what was and refusing to accept what is. We know better. We see not corruption, but liberation in the touch of our gods. What is chaos if not freedom? Freedom from the tyrannies of flesh and form of spirit and soul. Escape from the lies we have been told to accept as reality. Since coming here, I have heard the whispers of the Shadow Lord. I have felt his glory surround me until my body was wrapped in his darkness. Behold the change worked upon me. Gaze upon the might of the dweller in the pit. Beside him, even the Purple Hand are but blind children. You have heard the Shadow Lord's call. You have cast aside the chains of morality and mercy, cut all the weakness of doubt from your mind. A greater calling beckons you, to serve the ruinous powers. Gather the Wordstone, return its darkness to the pit. By its malefic energies shall the Shadow Lord grow strong. Kill those who would dare to oppose you. Let them be offerings to Old Night. Glory and horror await you. The wonders and terrors of real truth, of chaos.
And there we go. That is Murga, who basically oversees the Cult of the Possessed. I'm going to turn the music down a bit. It's a little louder than I expected. There we go. Apply changes. Let me fix the monitor a bit. There we go. Yeah. What was I saying before? I actually forget. And Mordheim is set in Warhammer Fantasy World. It is, I think it's 100 years before the Age of Myth period, or it might be, well, it's part of the Age of Myth. I should clarify that. It's 100 years before Warhammer 4th edition, I guess would be the best way to put it, because that's the edition that was out around the time Mordheim came out, I think 4th or 5th. The current Warhammer game, which is the Age of Sigmar, is about 600 or 800 years in the future of the period of this game. So things have changed quite a lot. Now, as I said, it's set in the Warhammer Fantasy World, but it is a squad-based game rather than a regiment army-based game. So it makes quite a difference in the way it plays out, and it allows it to have a lot more flexibility of what you can do, and the flexibility of having leveled up characters and champions and such. It's really quite a lot of fun. Now, a starting warband is pretty weak. You get your leader, which in the case of the Call to the Possessed is a Magister, I believe. Yeah, here we go, Magister. They are a cloth-wielding, or cloth-wearing, rather, spellcaster type. Oops, that's not what I wanted to look at. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, no, wait. They're a spellcaster, but they can wear heavy armor. Didn't realize that. That's pretty good. Each fragment of the Cult of the Possessed is led by a Magister, vicious fanatics who have been granted magical knowledge by the dark gods they serve. They use these powers to maintain the loyalty of their followers, caring little if their devotion comes from awe or fear. A Magister cares only for earning the favor of the Shadow Lord and the dark rewards bestowed by such favor. I also get, at the very beginning, space for 3 henchmen, which are the lowliest of the soldiers. They can level up and become quite good, but they're still never going to be as good as a champion soldier. A hero soldier. And then I also have a slot for a single hero soldier. And more of these will unlock as my warband levels up. If you're looking at the warband tab, currently I'm level 0. I don't know what the highest level of warband is. The highest I've gotten to is 5 with one of my other games. So let's take a quick look at what I can buy as henchmen. Do I play Warcraft? No. I played Warcraft 3 a little bit, but it always crashed on my computer. It was a long time ago on a very old computer. I used to play World of Warcraft, but I gave up that. Well, I shouldn't say I gave it up, because I stopped playing in 2011, but then I started playing again for a few months last year. But I haven't played it in, like 16 months now. So, yeah. Anyways, okay, so I was going to buy some henchmen. Currently, there are 2 types of henchmen for the Cult of the Possessed. There are the Brethren. They're the guys that wear the KKK hats. The mortal followers of the Dark God, the Brethren eagerly seek out the rewards of damnation. They see possession and mutation as sacred blessings, rewards they hope to earn through acts of insane depravity. To descend into the inner mysteries of the obscene faith, there is no act too unspeakable for them. I can have a maximum of 5 at any given time, and they have quite a variety of equipment available to them. Pretty much all of the one-handed melee weapons, all of the two-handed melee weapons except halberds, which sucks because halberds are awesome in this game. Bow and shortbow, so they don't have access to the longbow or any of the firearms, but they can wear any type of armor from the looks of things. Yeah. They don't have any special perks, they're just humans. You can have them wield a weapon and a shield, or a two-handed weapon, or a bow. Most often in warbands they end up being archers, because the Chaos Warband have a variety of really strong melee characters, so this gives a ranged option, and that is what I'm going to go with for this particular group. I think I'm going to hire 2 brethren. And I'm going to give them different colored hoods so that I can differentiate between them a little bit better. I guess we'll go... There we go. Okay, we're not going to go with the clowny ones. We'll go with 1 red and 1 black. That'll work for me. They'll both be archers. I should probably give them secondary weapons if I have any. Oh, they have daggers already. That's fine. And the last henchman slot, I'm going to go with a Dark Soul. Rarely does a daemon find a host so suitable as to become a possessed. More often, the daemon has to abandon his host, leaving the mortal scarred in mind and spirit. These men become Dark Souls, maddened by their experiences and endowed with the ferocious strength of the insane. Dressing in masks and armor that resemble demons, Dark Souls bring their crazed fury against all who defy the cult. They are most often used as great weapon soldiers, using a two-handed sword or two-handed axe or a two-handed hammer on occasion. They can dual wield, but there are better guys for dual wielding that I can get later on. I'm going to go with 1 Dark Soul, and he is going to stick with his two-handed axe. Now the Magister, despite being a spellcaster, is actually also pretty solid in melee. Give a quick look at them here. They have a 5 weapon skill, which is above average to start with. They can go up to 12, which is also above average. They're not as good as, say, a Matriarch, which is the Sisters of Sigmar leader. They're like specialized. They're like clerics or paladins. They're specialized in melee combat, with some spellcasting to back them up. Magisters are kind of the opposite. They're more spellcasty with some decent combat skills to back them up. I would eventually like to give them... well, actually, I'll probably stick with the staff throughout. Unless I come across like a really good spear or a really good great hammer. The staff is surprisingly good, unlike most role-playing games. With the staff, you can actually use the parry stance. With other two-handed weapons, such as the Great Axe, the Great Hammer, the Great Sword, you cannot use the parry stance, which is a little bit disturbing, or not disturbing, it's a little bit disappointing. With the regular sword, here we go, with the regular sword, you can use a parry stance, but you can't with the Great Sword, so that's a little annoying. Actually, with the Axe, the Hammer, the Mace, and the Spear, you can't use the parry stance unless you're using a shield. So there is a little bit of inconsistency there, maybe. I think with a hammer or a mace you should be able to parry, but I didn't design the game, so I'll just go with it, I guess. But yeah, no, the staff is decent, and it looks pretty badass, with all the skulls hanging off it and stuff, and all the spiky, the 8-pointed Chaos Star. I think that's 8-pointed. 3, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Well, I guess the bottom one is more the haft than a point, but you know, it kind of counts. Let's see, can I customize his hat? What colors do we get? Oh, that one took away the eyes, didn't it? Oh no, it just changed the color of the skull. Ooh, actually I like that one with the light colored hood with the dark colored skull. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Since they also wear a hood similar to the Brethren, this way I can differentiate them a bit. Also, though the staff will help with that too, of course. The Magister, being a spellcaster, as I mentioned, does start with a spell. Yes, it's Warhammer lore based. It's set about 100 years before the age of, set about 100 years before Warhammer 4th or 5th edition. So it's a little bit in the past. This is before the 4 Chaos Brothers have started making any headway into the plane. The Shadow Lord, I think, is supposed to be